Hey everyone, welcome to Data Millennials. I'm Atul. In this video, we are going to discuss how we can apply or use a sine function with the calculated field in Looker or Google Data Studio. So as you can see over here in my table, I have the column sine output and sine angle output. But if I'll show you the raw data, then you can see over here that I have two columns, input for sine number and input for sine angles. And we have to change these number and angle into the sine value. So in this video, we will create this table and then we are going to apply or use the sine function with the calculated field in our table from scratch so that you can get the idea that how you can apply or implement this sine function with a calculated field in a table or a calculated field in the raw data. But before we use this function, let's understand the sine function first. So sine is a type of arithmetic function in Looker which returns the sine of an angle. And if you see the syntax of the sine function, then you have this function sine over here, and this x is a field or expression containing at least one field, and this value must be in the radians. So now, in order to implement this sine function with the calculated field, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to click on this edit button first, and I'm going to add a new page over here in which we will be creating this table. So let me copy this header and put it over here. Then I need to replicate this table in my page 2. So if I come to add a chart and select a table, then Looker will allow me to add a table on my empty canvas. And the moment I'll create a table, you will see that by default, Looker has selected a data source for me. As I have created this table to show you initially the output for this video, by default, Looker has taken the data set which I have used for my first table in page 1, which is this data set. But if you want to change your data set, then you can come to setup and you can click over here under this data source section and select the data based on your requirement. But for me, I'll keep this data as it is. I'm going to remove this dimension first. Now the first thing that I'm going to put is that I'm going to take this input for sine number as my dimension, okay, and I'm going to remove this record count. Now I'm going to show you how you can create a calculated field with this table, which will only get implemented on this table and it will not affect anything else. So in order to create a calculated field within a metric, then what you can do is that you can come over here within this metric section, you can click on add metric, then you can click on create a field. You have to give the name over here. So I'm going to put the name as sine output, and then the next thing that I need to do is that I need to put the formula over here. So my formula is sine. The moment I'll write SIN, you will see that the intelligence of Looker will allow me to select this function, and then I have to give the argument. So for me, the argument is input for sine number over here. And once I give this input for sine number field over here as an argument, you will see that this green button which says formula syntax is valid. Then I can click on apply. The moment I'll click on apply, Looker in the background will start calculating the sine function for this particular column, and you have a sine output column for this table only. Now the another way of using sine function with the calculated field is that you create a calculated field in your data, and to do that you have to come over here in your data section and you will click on add field. But before that, let me add this input for sine angle as a dimension. Okay, because we are going to use this input for sine angle as our argument for the new calculated field. So in order to create a new calculated field in your data section, you have to come over here in your data section and click on add a field. Then you have to give the name. So my output column name will be sine angle output, and then I have to give the formula which is SIN, and then I have to give the argument. So for me, the argument is input for sine angle, and then you have to scroll down, click on save. You will see that you have a green button over here and says calculated field save. Then you click on finish. The moment you will click on finish, you will see that you have a new column over here which says sine angle output, which you have just created. Now the difference between this calculated field and this calculated field is that this calculated field is a calculated metric for this particular table only, while this calculated field is in your data and you can use this calculated field for any of the visualization widgets. So what I can do is that I can simply take this column which I've just created and put it over here as a metric. Now you can see that you have two columns over here, sine output and sine angle output, which we have created with a calculated field with the sine function. So this is how basically you can create a calculated field with sine function to return the sine of an angle using the calculated field in Looker. Happy learning and see you in the next video.